and Dad were sitting by the radio. Their heads hung low. This morning at 6:30, the German army crossed the border. I didn't really understand the meaning of those words, but I felt there was something terrible in them.
I was not from a very rich family, but I had good parents. We were a good family, and I had a very lucky childhood. But after occupation, everything has been changed, and our life became still more and more difficult.
Since March 15th, there's not been a single calm day. Everything is our fault, even though we didn't do anything. We can't help being Jews.
First, my father was expelled from his job. All the Jews were expelled and lost their jobs. And then also children were expelled from schools.
This time, the Germans came up with a great idea that even the Middle Ages would have been proud of. Stars. Bright yellow with the word Juda. At school, we boast about whose star is sewn on best, even though it's not pleasant to have to wear it. We make light of it. We got used to other things. We'll get used to this. Another new thing is coming to disrupt Jewish families. Supposedly, there will be transports. Everyone is getting ready for travel. The arrests never stop. Danger lurks at every step. When you leave your house, you never know if you will return. Tomorrow, we say goodbye to our home, our relatives, and everything that was dear and close to us. We are supposedly off to a new land to avoid persecution. We will be taken care of. Things will go well for us. I'll never find my way around here. But so what? We won't be here for long. There are 21 of us in quite a small room. If you haven't seen it with your own eyes, you would never believe it.
Men were staying in different places, but it was some possibility sometimes that we can somehow smuggle some messages to each other. I was fond of drawing, and it was December, and it was a time where children in a normal life built a snowman, but it was also a memory of the past life. It was such a normal, childish drawing. I found this drawing very important because it was my first drawing in Terezin. And when I smuggled it to my father, he answered me, "Draw what you see." After the response by my father, I started to describe the everyday life in Terezin. During the time, I created about 100 of these drawings. Because I spent in Terezin almost 3 years, and they are very important today because it was forbidden to make pictures, to make film. And maybe that's why my drawings are today so important, because there doesn't exist any other picture material.
What kind of Mother's Day is it when I don't even have a flower for my mom? I know. I'll make one out of paper. It's not much, but after all, Mom knows there's not a lot of choice. Anyway, next year I'll make it up to her. By that time, we'll surely be home.
Terezin was used for propaganda. They wanted to show the world that Jews are staying well. Once it was invited International Red Cross Commission.
A huge cleanup of the town is in progress. It's funny, but it looks like they're trying to change Terezin into a spa town. Freshly sown grass is coming up in the town square. The middle is decorated with a huge bed of roses. There's a pool, a merry-go-round, and seesaws. Everything was arranged like a stage set.
At the time we very much hoped when International Red Cross would come and they would see the situation, it would be help for us and something would be changed to better. But inspection came and they watched and looked only on that places which were shown them, and the inspection itself lasts only a half day, and in the evening they described a certificate, they found everything okay. So it was a great propaganda and they believed it. They created a film, and it is the only film which existed, but it is a live propaganda film created by Germans. From this film, they asked the prisoners come to in front of a camera, and they had to say, "I am well in Terezin, I don't miss anything." Transport were sent not only to Terezin, but also from Terezin somewhere, nobody knew where. It was called only the East Transport. We had no idea about gas chambers. These first 4 transports in 44 were men only, and with the second one, my father was sent away.
Here we sit today, for the last time. We can't hold back the tears. We've stored up too many of them this past week. I can still see him standing on the steps, waving, smiling. Daddy, why won't you let us volunteer to go with you?
They promised these men, their families would stay in Terezin. It was lie, as everything was lie. And so 2 days after he left, I was included with my mother. And we hope to meet my father. We had no idea that something like that existed. We didn't know very well. It was a step in hell. If hell exists, it perhaps looks like Auschwitz. There was not enough food, and for the food we received, it was not possible to live. The situation was terrible. It was hopeless, but we never wanted to leave hope. When somebody left hope, he was lost.
Mom is getting weaker by the day. The end of the war might not be far off, but even if it's only a week away, our end will come first. God have mercy. Give Mom enough strength so she can see us liberated.
For us, it was a little too late. We were glad everything was over, of course, but the first thoughts were, so we survived, but what about my father? Did he also survive? We left the camps, but we carried the camps still inside. The people who brought us to Prague, they told us, you are free and go home. But it was no hope. We were not expected. Nobody expected our coming back. Most or perhaps all of them who returned quite alone. They had nobody. I had my mother. I never gave a thought about we could be separated. So when I married, she stayed with me and lived with my family till her death, and she died in her age 84, 20 years ago. We never learned really where he perished, but probably just after coming to Auschwitz, he was directly sent to gas chamber. I always suppose and think about him, what he would say, what he would tell me, what I have to do. My father was very fond of music, and I married a musician. My son is a professional musician, so is my granddaughter, and so always I think about it, how it will be a pleasure for him. So he's sitting with me now. Read it very carefully and keep it in memory what happened, and do something that it wouldn't happen anymore. That's what we learn, to be tolerant to each other, to understand to each other, not to be selfish, to be healthy, to have family, to have hope and freedom.
These were once people, healthy, strong, with their own will and thoughts. Love for life, for good things, for beauty. What's left are phantoms, bodies, skeletons without souls. No one will weep for them. No one will lament their passing, until someday there will be a mention of them in our textbooks.